As many people prepare for the journey of love, let us take a short walk through history ourselves that led to this journey and love. We will be focusing on the role of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam and Bibi Zainab alayhi salam throughout this journey. As we see here, Imam Raza is narrating a hadith to a poet Shabib, where he narrates the importance of crying with tears on Imam Hussain alayhi salam. He says that if you cry such that your tears roll down your cheeks, Allah would forgive all the sins you have committed, whether they're great or small sins. He also says that if you desire that for you be the reward equivalent to that of those martyred along with Hussain alayhi salam, then whenever you remember him, say, "Oh, would that I have been with them, a great achievement would I have achieved." Asre Ashur. All the men, the boys of the family have been martyred. The Sahabis have been martyred. Only Imam Hussain alayhi salam and Imam Zainul Abidin are left. Imam Hussain comes to pass on the imamat, and he gives Imam Zainul Abidin a supplication which Sayyidah Fatima salamullah alayha received from the Prophet of Allah, who in turn received from Jibreel alayhi salam. And it is beneficial for fulfillment of all desires in important matters, anxieties, harsh circumstances, and vital tasks. Bibi Zainab watches from the Thillai Zainabiya, the raised ground, the shahadat of her beloved brother Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Imam Zainul Abidin wakes up to the noises and the sounds of cheers to see the head of his father on a sphere. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Eleventh Muharram, Shami Gariba. All the enemies have looted the tents, have set them on fire, have snatched away the chadars, the hijab of the ladies. As all of the females in Imam Zainul Abidin are huddled in one last tent, Bibi Zainab questions Imam Zainul Abidin, should we die in here or go out without our hijabs? He says, it is wajib on us to save our lives, and which is why we need to get out. And Bibi Zainab carries Imam Zainul Abidin, as he is so weak, out of the tent, saving the imamat. Later that night, when the kids have fallen asleep and Bibi Zainab is standing guarding them, she sees a horseman come towards her. And when the horseman nears, she sees that it is her father, Imam Ali alayhi salam. And she rushes to him and narrates the whole incident of the day of Ashura. Eleventh Muharram, Imam Zainul Abidin is looking at the battlefield. He sees the bodies of his brothers, father, his Sahabis, and he is sad, heartbroken that he cannot give them the last bath and bury them. Bibi Zainab consoles him and says that she heard from the Prophet salamullah alayha that inshallah a day will come when there will be a shrine and the lovers will flock for ziyarat, as we pray and we hope that we get to do as soon as possible again and again throughout our life. The Ahle Haram, Imam Zainul Abidin, Bibi Zainab, Bibi Sakina, Bibi Kulsum, everyone tied up in chains, are on their way to Kufa. As we know that the kids were used to fall off their mother's lap and come beneath the camels and the horses' legs, and they used to get martyred. One of those kids, one of those children was Bibi Sharifa bint al-Hassan. She is buried in Babil. It's on the way to Kufa. Having reached Kufa, the females, everyone is made to stand. The ladies of the family, Imam Zainul Abidin, are made to stand in Ibn Ziyad's palace as he comfortably rests on the throne. And Ibn Ziyad taunts Bibi Zainab, saying, "What did Allah do to your family?" To which Bibi Zainab replies with a beautiful sermon. One of those things she says that He preferred martyrdom for them, and they hastened towards their place of repose. Then Allah, the Almighty, will gather you face to face, and they will try you and complain against you in His audience. And she also says that I have not seen anything but beauty from Allah. That level of strength, that level of patience, that level of thankfulness, mashallah. After leaving from Kufa, everyone is on their way to Sham. On their way to Sham, there is a place where the army stops to rest, and everyone rests to have water, food. Bibi Sakina is very thirsty, and she asks a guy named Hassan bin Namir for a little water, 2 drops of water, and he arrogantly refuses and throws the water in front of them. The ladies and the Imam Zainul Abidin were made to wait outside Sham so that Sham could be decorated, because it was thought of as a happy event instead of a zulm, of oppression on the family of the Ahlul Bayt, of Rasulullah. The bazaar was decorated. The ladies, Imam Zainul Abidin, were made to walk through it while everyone watched them from the roofs of their houses, and threw boiling hot water and stones on them. Before entering the palace of Yazid, there's a masjid, Masjid-e-Bani Umayyah, where a Shami comes and starts taunting Imam Zainul Abidin and says that peace be to Allah, that he has killed and destroyed you and put off the fire of revolt. To which Imam Zainul Abidin replies, haven't you, he questions, don't you read the Quran? He replies, I do. Then Imam asks him, haven't you read the ayat, Surah Ahzab, ayat number 33, that I have, Allah intends but to keep off from you every kind of uncleanliness, O you, the people of the house, and purify you with a thorough purification. And then he says, we are the ones referred to herein. We are the people of the house. He then narrates another ayat in which he says, he narrates the ayat Surah Shura, verse 23. Say, O Muhammad, say unto people, no reward do I ask of you for this divine call except to be kind to my close relatives. This is when people started thinking that what Yazid had been feeding them, the lies he had been feeding him, were they actually true or were they not? Were these prisoners lying or was Yazid lying? The palace of Yazid. Yazid says, he mocks Imam Zainul Abidin, saying, "O Ali bin Hussain, praise be to Allah that he has killed your father." And Imam Zainul Abidin replies, "May Allah's curse be on him, on them who killed my father." And he wants to give a khutbah, but is refused by Yazid. But then the people say that what will this poor man, weak man say that could overthrow your throne or could weaken your position? So he is forced to allow him. So when Imam Zainul Abidin starts giving his khutbah, he narrates, he says, "Do you know who I am? If you don't know, listen. I am son of Hussain, who is the son of Zahra, Fatimatul Zahra, who is the daughter of Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah." And then he goes on narrating about his importance. And Yazid is angry because he sees the people questioning what is happening. So he asks the muazzin to give the namaz, to give the azan, despite the fact that it is not namaz time yet. And when Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah comes, Imam Zainul Abidin again questions that the Muhammad in the azan, is that your grandfather or my grandfather? Yazid is so angry right now that he throws them into the prison where they were not given enough to eat, enough to drink. It would be so cold at times, so hot at times. The place where Bibi Sakina was martyred because of all the zulm. And this is where she is buried. When people see this, they see that such zulm was done on a 3-year-old girl. They force Yazid into releasing the prisoners. When the ladies and Imam Zainul Abidin are released, Bibi Zainab Salamullah Alaiha requests for a room to lament and mourn the tragedy of Karbala, as they had not been allowed to do so earlier. So the first majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam was held in the palace of Yazid, and it went on for 3 days. On their way to Medina, the ladies and Imam Zainul Abidin visited Karbala for Chehlum, where the first visitor was Hazrat Jabir bin Abdullah Ansari. Despite the fact that he was blind, Imam Zainul Abidin requested him to go away, as he did not want him around when his mother and his sisters and puppies came. This shows the importance of hijab. So we should be sure to keep our Imam happy and take care of our hijabs. The Bainul Harabain, the haram of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam. Once after the Chehlum, the ladies and Imam Zainul Abidin come back to Medina. Before entering Medina, Imam Zainul Abidin asks Bashir to go and announce the shahadat, the martyrdom of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When Bibi Fatima Sugra, the daughter of Imam Hussain, hears, she comes supported by Salma and Ummul Baneen, comes towards the caravans. And when she goes inside the tents to search for her brothers and sisters, Bibi Sakina, Hazrat Ali Asghar, and when she does not find them, she questions. And Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says, "Sugra, oh my dear sister, have patience." Imam Hussain also narrates the will of Imam Hussain alayhi salam to his lovers, where Imam Hussain says, O my followers, whenever you drink refreshing water, remember me. Whenever you hear about a martyr or a lonely person, weep for me. I am the son of the Prophet who was martyred cruelly. When they enter Medina, Bibi Kulsum wept and said, O city Medina of our grandfather, do not accept us, as we have returned back along with regret and sorrow. Beware, go and relate to the Prophet that we were subjected to severity due to the enmity of our father. Upon reaching Medina, Bibi Zainab goes to Masjid al-Nabawi and cries on the grave of her grandfather. O grandfather, I announce to you the news of the death of my brother Hussain. She narrates the story of Karbala. She goes to her mother's grave, where she takes out and places her brother's kurta, the shirt, all torn in blood. And she shows the signs of the tight ropes around her waist. Bibi Zainab never once cried throughout the journey from Karbala to Kufa to Sham, back to Karbala and back to Medina. She never once cried on her sons. But when she enters her house with her husband Abdullah, she sees two prayer mats and cries and remembers her two adorable sons, Onu Muhammad. When Hazrat Abdullah questions, she says they were martyred. And Hazrat Abdullah faints. When he wakes up, she questions, you just heard and you fainted? To which he replies, no, I did not faint because I heard the news of the martyrdom, but because I saw the signs of the ropes around your waist. I can't even imagine who would dare to tie ropes around the wrist of Zainab, daughter of Ali, sister of Abbas. Imam Zainul Abidin lived for a period of 45 years and used to cry regularly upon his father. He would cry when he saw a butcher. He would question him and ask, did you give the animal water before slaughtering him? And he would say, I'm a believer of your father, I did so. And he would remember his father and how he was slaughtered without water and cry. He would cry when water was brought to him for wuzu. He would cry when a Sahabi asked him that where he was subjected to the worst cruelty, and he would say, Asham, Asham, Asham. And when questioned, he would say, martyrdom is for us. Everyone has to be martyred. Everyone has to return to Allah. But having to walk through bazaar with your mother and your sister and your puppies, aunts, without hijab through na-mehram, that is the worst imtihan. It is the hardest imtihan. Imam Zainul Abidin was also very, very generous. He would give generously, limitlessly to everybody. Even Hussain bin Namir once came and Imam Zainul Abidin gave him. So Hussain bin Namir says, I think you don't know who I am. You didn't recognize me. To which Imam Zainul Abidin says, I do know who you are, but we give to everybody. Since Imam Zainul Abidin was not allowed to give khutbahs and narrate the teachings of Islam. He did so through du'as. He has written 2 beautiful books filled with supplications. Sahifa Sajjadiya in Risalatul Huquq. If we have any problem, we will find the solution to those in these 2 books. This was the role of Bibi Zainab and Imam Zainul Abidin throughout the journey of Karbala and back, in spreading the message of Karbala, in spreading the message of Islam.